Hello folks, I'm going to take an updated video of the Fleetvan that I have listed for sale. It's a project that I don't really want to sell. I'm just trying to reduce some inventory and get rid of some projects. I'd rather hang on to this one. But here we go. Anyway, there's some people out in Illinois that are interested in it. What we got up here is some surface rust. Can be probably treated with some phosphoric acid to neutralize it. It's covered, the whole car, or the whole vehicle is covered with this. We do have some rot issues, obviously, but we'll get into that shortly. The engine is tight, as in it does not spin. It probably hasn't run in, I'm going to guess, about 35 years. The steering box is tight, but I do have a power steering box for a modern postal vehicle that came off of the S10 chassis that they use currently today. It's a power steering box that mounts for right side drive. Everything on this, with the exception of the fenders and this area here, is flat metal, but this obviously has the radiuses. So that's the hardest stuff to fabricate or repair. It's all flat glass. Any glass shop can make that. A little bit of cancer going on there. Everything is riveted together. There's hardly anything welded on here. This is about the only body weld that I can see on the whole project. This is a stationary opening, or door I should say. It does not open. I think on the panel trucks, the longer wheelbases, that this one would open. Put a set of wheels on the bottom, you can make it slide, I'm sure, without too much difficulty. The original postal sign reminding you to use the zip code when zip codes first came out. This side is a little bit more solid than the other side. Probably not savable. The other side is much worse. That's the big issue right there on this side. The wheels do not belong on here. They're a Chevy wheel. The wheels that were on this had tires that were so far trashed we couldn't even use them. So we just hogged out the lug holes on this thing to make it a roller. So find a nice set of steel wheels with some hubcaps from one of the wheel manufacturers. Should be the way to go. Most of the roof appears to be pretty solid. I do not recommend sandblasting this because it was made out of very thin tin to begin with. Up here we've got some corrosion on the rain gutter. That's going to have to be remade. Your vent openings appear to be in pretty decent shape. The bumper can be straightened or remade into something that looks a little more classy for an ice cream truck. So I'm saying this side, not as bad as the other side. It still has some stability. You can't see through it. The wheel well is actually savable, I think. This side, not so much. Obviously there's some issues, and it's very thin and it tends to flap in the breeze. So when we ship this, we're going to have to secure that with some tape and some bungee cords and ratchet straps and whatnot to keep it on the truck. I might even tack weld some pieces in there, some supports, just to hold it in place. Overall, the floor in the back, I mean, it's surface rust, but it's not rotted. Not that I can see. I mean, it's not porous. So wire wheel that and save it, or modify it. I believe there's I haven't gotten under it to see how much space underneath here is available to see if you can drop it for an ice cream truck. But I'm going to take a couple measurements here. Don't mind the shaky camera. I have to set it down while I get a tape measure out. So, sorry about that. From ceiling to floor to ceiling, whatever you want to call it, you're about 60, it says 63, but I'm going to call it 62 inches for argument's sake. From the seat back, see if I can hook that. I'm not sure if it's going to cooperate. Once again, I'm setting this down for a second. So from the back of that seat frame to the back of the door here, we're about 56 inches roughly, give or take. And between the wells, I'm going to call it 44 inches. And setting this down again, sorry. Saying across the side, from side to side interior panel, you're going to call that about 58 inches. So what the potential buyer says, she's only 5'2". She's going to have a tough time standing up in the back of this thing. My recommendation, see the bottom half of this back door is rotted off. It's a roll-up type of door. My recommendation is to get rid of that and make it a swing open door. That was my intention for making this into a small utility truck. I was planning on eliminating these side windows, so whoever fabricates this can not have to deal with opening that, just have it closed up completely. But as you can see, this side is in much worse condition. Probably needs a fuel tank, because I imagine whatever is in there is complete varnish. Suspension wise, you're going to be looking at redoing everything, but it is basically a Jeep CJ3 frame and chassis from what I understand, with the exception of the modification inside the footwell. And that would pretty much be what I'm going to look like by the time this thing is done if I get involved. So let's just avoid that. Under the wheels there is that's the BorgWarner 2-speed automatic transmission. This is the shifter right here. It's in reverse now. It would go forward for forward, obviously. Parking brake, rotted out speedometer. Steering wheel's actually, it's only got a couple cracks in it, which is surprising for being a vehicle that sat outside. Some panels need to be made over there. Still got the Highway Products sticker in there. That's the manufacturer of the body. The remains of the interior light. Wiper motor. Sun visor. It's a project. There's no nonsense, no BS. It is what it is. If you're going to modify one heavily, not to get sidetracked, this is the gas pedal. It's not really a pedal, it's a lever. So when you're standing up to drive it, you just push on it to the side, and that's what's going to operate the gas pedal. Obviously, putting a regular gas pedal in would be the best thing. That's the brake. So if you're going to modify a vehicle, it'd be a shame to take one that's already done and restored. I mean, you have to. If you're going to modify one, you're going to be making new panels for that vehicle anyway. You might as well just start with a wide open palette, make it the way you want it. But obviously, it's an investment to buy it. I'm not going to steer anybody in one way or another. But my recommendation in this situation is to get rid of the track for the door, make it a swing open door, or even a drop down tailgate type ramp type of door, something of that nature. Frame it was, last time I checked, it was pretty solid. Nothing that can't be repaired if there is a problem. It's just a C-channel frame. My thought was I was going to lower it down, get it riding nice. But that's the victim. That's what we're dealing with here. I'm not going to say that it's a pristine vehicle. There's work to be done, and if this is what you want, just understand that it is tiny. It is sitting on a CJ3 frame, so it's got the same wheelbase as a CJ3, which is small. Still got the remains of the civil defense markings. So it was based out of, this was on Fort Dix. It served its purpose on Fort Dix, at the Fort Dix base in New Jersey. And that's about all I know about the history of it. And but yeah, that's the victim. That's your vehicle if that's what you want for an ice cream truck. And it's going to be some work. I hate to get rid of it, because I've been one of those people that searched for one for years, but it's just timing is bad right now. But that's all. If you have any questions, call me, 215-942-8594. Thank you. Bye.